thing that we wanted to kind of go into is there are home buyers that are shopping in your local area. And so, what every buyer wants to know about your home is what we're going to be talking about. So, you might think, well, what really do these home buyers want to know? And a lot of this stuff, we find out from you and we publish it and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is that what they want to know is how old is the house?
Yeah. When was it last renovated? How old is the roof? I get a lot of people that always ask me. The real big concern is the roof.
The roof and the air conditioner are
Exactly.
the two biggest things that people are concerned about out there.
I mean, they say roofs, depending on the style, can last anywhere from 12 to 15 years.
Right.
But a lot of times with the weather that we receive and things like that, they may not stand that long. Or sometimes, there was one house that lasted 17. So, it all just depends on, the way it's taken care of and how, I guess, they were done. Some other questions that they ask are what structures or fixtures are included in the list price. And that includes like appliances or ceiling fans, maybe some certain lighting that's there, a shed, a swing set, window treatments, things of that nature. And a lot of times, it might not be included like on the listing, but if the buyer asks, we can always negotiate with the seller.
The next thing is the annual homes cost, like for electric, water, if you've got gas in there, what's lawn care, pool maintenance, all of those kinds of things are the things that they want to know. What are they going to have to spend money on, or what have you spent money on? Has the home been tested for radon, or has there been mold that's been in there? Polybutylene pipe is something that exists in some parts of
some homes. Yeah.
Yep. And so some of our homes have been completely repiped as a result of some of those things. But they want to know if there's any hazardous things that are going on there. And there's always a seller's disclosure that we have our sellers fill out. And so the important thing about that is being honest. You don't always know everything that's gone on before. Maybe you've only owned the home a few years. But the thing is, what you do know, it's important to disclose. Yeah. How is it heat or cooled, which in Florida, and today it's cold. Cooled, how is that done? And how old is the system, and how old is the hot water heater? I recently replaced my hot water heater, and I thought it was just a few $100, but it ended up being a few hundred more than I thought it was going to be. So I think it was about $800 or $900 or something. But when it comes down to it, and that was installed, and the permits pulled, and everything that needed to be done, it does end up being more of a heavy-duty expense.
And has the well water been tested? There are quite a few homes that are on wells still, so they want to know if it's been tested. Is there a septic system in the home? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different questions that they do ask, and that's an important one. A lot of people want to know when the last time it was cleaned, or when it was pumped,
right?
Or serviced, or things like that. So,
yep. And are there any outstanding permits or liens on the property? And we had a case where that was kind of a problem, where we had to go through it. And the current owner weren't the ones who pulled the permits. They had been pulled years ago. But we went down there and we're working with the city of Orlando, and they worked out great to help us to get that stuff resolved.